April 2nd, 2005.
Where did he go?
A plane carrying 38 people between Terminus Airport and Main Airport disappears over the sea. The investigation will show that security is not always up to standard. Balmas Airlines Flight 36 is ready for departure.
Starting engine 2.
All right.
The plane is an ATR-72, a turboprop plane used for short-medium haul flights.
Balmas 36, cleared for takeoff, winds 3 knots, 180 degrees.
Balmas 36, cleared for takeoff, thank you.
At 5:04 p.m., Flight 36 received its takeoff clearance.
Your control.
I've got control. Power set.
80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Balmas 36, contact the approach on 124.75. Good day.
Would contact the approach on 124.75. Bye-bye.
1 hour later, the plane is at its cruising altitude of 23,000 feet.
Balmas 36 at Sierra Papa Oscar.
Balmas 36, maintain current altitude.
Roger.
American 471 with you. Flight level 230.
Roger.
Suddenly, the plane disappears from the radar.
Where did he go? Balmas 36, do you copy? Balmas 36, do you copy? I've got a possible emergency.
The aircraft was lost 66 kilometers from the nearest coast. The investigation will reveal a series of tragic events. After a year of investigation, the cockpit voice recorder can finally be listened to.
What do you have planned at Main Airport?
I'm going to see my family for the holiday.
Oh, all right.
Yeah?
Hands up!
No, please don't do this.
Why not?
After this exchange, the aircraft dives to the right. Speed increases while sync rate and ground proximity alarms sound.
Sync. Pull up. Don't sync. Pull up.
No more conversations are heard. Investigators estimate the plane flew at a speed of 450 knots.
Pull up. Pull up.
At 6:50 p.m., recording stops. National Transportation Safety Board of the Archipelagos blames airport security for allowing a person with a firearm to pass. They recommend that the International Civil Aviation Federation put more resources into increasing security at airports so that this accident does not happen again. Above the city of Maine,
Watch out!
two planes collide.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
The investigators will show that each accident is the result of several events.
"80 knots.
Check.
V1, rotate. Positive climb. Gear up.
Baltic Airways Flight 610 has just taken off from Shaw Airport. The plane is an ATR-72 built in 1989, but the company acquired it 3 months ago. There are 71 people on board, 4 crew members for 67 passengers. At 12:31 p.m., the pilots contact Main Airport approach.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, good evening. Turn left heading 350, maintain for now 4,500 feet.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, turning left at 350 and maintain 4,500 feet.
The captain of the flight is Mike Flyners. At 36 years old, he has a total of 8,527 flight hours. The co-pilot is Raymond Buckler, new to the company. He has 200 hours of flight time.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, climb and maintain flight level 80, turn right heading 120.
During the turn, the controller gives a warning to the ATR pilots.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, traffic 13 o'clock, a C-400 of the Coast Guard.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, roger.
The pilots are monitoring the plane in front of them when suddenly an alarm goes off.
We have a problem with the automatic trim.
Okay, check the plane manual.
As the pilots search for the procedure to follow,
Watch out!
the ATR-72 collides with another aircraft.
What? I have an emergency, code 3.
The two planes crashed in the city of Maine. The 71 occupants of the ATR, the 4 crew members of the C-400, and 14 people on the ground were killed. Investigators suspect 3 causes that led to the collision: a pilot error, a problem with the regulations, and an air traffic control error. According to investigators, the pilots of the ATR-72 were at fault. When the failure alarm went off, neither pilot was monitoring the plane ahead until the last seconds.
Watch out!
Current regulations may also have been the cause of the collision, say the investigators. In the 2000s, the Civil Aviation Federation created the TCASE Traffic Collision Avoidance System, a system designed to prevent collisions. It was commissioned in 2008 after the collision of Air New Maine 054 and TFS Charter 005. After the collision, the TCAS became mandatory on all civil aircraft, but military aircraft were not required to have one, so the C-400 was not equipped with the TCAS. The air traffic controller was also to blame. When he turned the ATR to the right,
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, turn right heading 120.
an alarm was triggered on his radar. But surprisingly, the controller just warned the pilots.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, traffic 13 o'clock, a C-400 of the Coast Guard.
Bravo Tango Alpha 610, roger.
Without applying the procedure, which is that no aircraft should be in the same altitude without a separation of 15 nautical miles. The 2 aircraft were doomed.
Watch out!
In 2014, the investigators recommended that regulations be amended to require C-400s to carry the mandatory TKs, that pilot and air traffic controller training be improved, and that maintenance checks be stepped up to ensure that this collision never happens again. When landing in rainy weather, a plane crashes on the runway. The investigation will reveal that the pilots made a fatal error. Sky Aviation Airways Flight 628 flies over the ocean en route to Shaw Airport. Captain Patrick Sullivan is the pilot in command. He has a total of 8,700 flight hours. Co-pilot George Senders is the pilot monitoring. He has a total of almost 900 flight hours. The aircraft is an ATR-42, a turboprop aircraft entered into service in 1985. The plane is full, 48 passengers and 3 crew members on board. Archipelago Center, Sierra Alpha, November 628, requesting descent.
Sierra Alpha, November 628, descent flight level 80. For your information, visibility 500 meters, rain and storm at the airport.
Roger.
So there is a storm at the airport.
It should go well.
Yeah, I think also. Let's start the descent.
The plane begins its descent towards the airport, where the weather conditions are bad.
Okay, flaps 30.
30.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Sierra Alpha, November 628, cleared to land runway 09 left, winds 110 degrees 25 knots, gust 35.
Cleared to land, 628.
Do you see the airport?
Not yet. Okay, runway in sight. The pilots are ready to land. 200 feet. 100 feet. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Touchdown!
As the pilots slow down, disaster strikes. Sky Aviation Airways Flight 628 crashed on the runway. 3 of the 51 people on board survived. How could the plane have crashed after it landed? Investigators examine the crash site, but among the debris, they discover vehicle wrecks, which gives them an almost unimaginable theory. Did the plane hit these vehicles during its landing? Investigators suspect 4 causes that may have caused the accident. A pilot error, an air traffic control error, a terrible coincidence, and a non-compliance with regulations on the part of the airline. After questioning the air traffic controller, the investigators realize that the pilots made a serious error. The pilots were supposed to land on runway 09 left,
Sierra Alpha, November 628, cleared to land runway 09 left.
but the debris of the plane was found on runway 09 right, which means the pilots landed on the wrong runway. Runway 09 right had been closed for work, but due to a lack of equipment, military vehicles and a fuel truck were placed to close the runway. The controller also has his share of responsibility in the accident. When the plane was lined up on the runway 09 right, runway in sight, she did not notice that the plane was going to land on the wrong runway. While she had a working radar, we will never know the reason of this inattention. A terrible coincidence probably caused the accident. When the plane was approaching the runway, a C-400 from Turbo Lines was in position for departure, but after questioning, they had just taken the wrong taxiway and found themselves in front of runway 09 right. This was able to give the pilots confidence in the fact that he was landing on runway 09 left instead of 09 right. The company was part of the accident. During the last 3 days before Flight 628, the pilots flew nearly 63 hours out of 72, which far exceeds the regulations issued by the Civil Aviation Federation, which explains why the pilots did not notice that he was not landing on runway 09 left. All these causes made the accident inevitable. 100 feet, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Three years after the accident, the Main Island Air Investigation Office recommended that the training of pilots and air traffic controllers be improved, stricter regulations be applied, and that runway markings be redone. Due to the accident, Sky Aviation Airways went bankrupt in 2004. Investigators hope an accident like this can never happen again. during an approach to one of the most delicate airports in the world.
Oh no!
What?
A plane disappears from radar. The investigation will highlight flaws in crew training. Air France International Flight 066 approaches the coast of Main Island on April 19, 1999.
I heard you just got promoted.
In the left seat, Captain Alan Silver is in command.
Yes, and I'm excited.
First Officer Liam Davis is the pilot monitoring for this flight. The pilots are at the control of an ATR-72, a turboprop aircraft built by the Italian-French company ATR. With its 2 Pratt & Whitney engines, it can transport a large number of passengers over short distances. There are 89 passengers and 4 crew members on board.
Ask the tower if we can descend.
Tower, AFI 066, requesting descent.
AFI 066, descend to 9,000 feet, expect a VOR DME approach runway 29.
We're descending to flight level 90, and we're expecting a VOR DME approach runway 29.
The pilots will land on runway 29, which is not equipped for autopilot landing. They will only have lateral direction and distance from the runway, while they will have to cross the surrounding mountains.
Approach charts, please.
So, we must be at 6,200 feet at 16 nautical miles.
All right.
Flaps 25, indicating 25. Gear. Down. Landing lights on. Checklist complete. Tower, AFI 066, 18 nautical miles, altitude 8,100 feet.
Roger. Call me back at 14 nautical miles. Cleared to approach runway 29.
Roger.
But while the plane is in full approach, he disappears from the radar.
What? AFI 066, do you read? AFI 066, do you read?
Air France International Flight 066 crashed into mountains, and no one knows where he is. 10 minutes after losing radar contact with the plane and after starting search operations, the controller tried in vain to contact the crew.
AFI 066, do you read? AFI 066, do you read?
Then, a research team provides the information everyone feared.
We have a visual on the plane, fire on the ground. There appear to be no survivors.
How did the plane end up here? Bureau of Aviation Safety investigators are tasked with answering that question. They retrieve the flight recorders from the tail and examine the crash site. By observing the distance the plane traveled upon impact, it seems clear that the pilots were still in control of the plane. The plane's propellers indicate that the engines were running at full power just before impact. Investigators conclude that the pilots saw the mountains and tried to go back up, in vain. It is therefore a controlled flight into terrain. 2 causes are suspected by investigators: a pilot error and an air traffic controller error. By listening to the cockpit voice recorder, they make a decisive discovery. When announcing the descent procedure, the co-pilot was skeptical about the altitude.
I feel like the altitude is too low for the distance.
How so?
I think the approach chart attitude is low.
And even questioned the air traffic controller.
Can I request verification?
Go ahead.
AFI 066. Do we have to be at 6,200 feet at 16 nautical miles?
But he was convinced that everything was good.
Affirm.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
The controller was then questioned and indicated that since he knew the procedure well, he affirmed that the altitude was correct. Checking the plane's approach charts and comparing them to the ones used, they discover that there is information that has been erased over time, which explains why the co-pilot was confused about the information of the approach chart. But then, why didn't the captain do anything? Because he was on manual controls on a delicate approach, so he couldn't check the approach chart. By listening again to the cockpit voice recorder at the start of the approach, the investigators were convinced that they were on the right track.
I heard you just got promoted.
Yes, and I'm excited.
Newly promoted to co-pilot, Liam Davis could not have known that information was missing from the approach chart. These colleagues already knew this. He certainly didn't want to bother the captain and the air traffic controller any further. It was therefore a lack of vigilance on the part of the air traffic controller.
Do we have to be at 6,200 feet at 16 nautical miles?
Affirm.
Okay, thank you.
A reserved co-pilot.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And a erased approach chart, which caused the death of 93 people.
Oh no!
We're to low!
Full power!
Pull, Captain!
After the crash, investigators published a report recommending that airlines renew approach charts regularly, improve the training of pilots and air traffic controllers, and encourage new pilots to better express their doubts to avoid air accident of the same kind to happen again. Moments after takeoff, Flight Fox Alpha Romeo Delta Whiskey encounters difficulties.
Fox Delta Whiskey.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Roger that.
Pilots need all the help they can get to attempt the impossible.
Affirmative.
It's a foggy day at Gulf Airport.
Cabin temp set.
The crew of a charter flight prepares for departure.
Starting procedure. Engine 1.
Today, the pilots are flying a PS-26, a very reliable aircraft frequently used for charter flights. 5 passengers took place on board.
Checklist completed. Here we go.
Greg Rogers is the captain and will be the pilot monitoring. With him, First Officer Alex Withers, who will be the pilot in command. Between them, they have a total of 7,500 flight hours.
Gulf ground, Fox Delta Whiskey, ready for taxi.
Fox Delta Whiskey, roger that. Taxi to runway 20 via Charlie.
Taxi to runway 20, Fox Delta Whiskey.
Runway 20, okay.
I'm gonna do the checklist.
Okay.
Flaps set on 2. Route on departure. Speed brakes off.
Frequency on tower. Checklist complete. Gulf Tower, Fox Delta Whiskey, ready for takeoff runway 20.
Fox Delta Whiskey, good evening. Clear for takeoff runway 20, wind 160 degrees, 15 knots.
Clear for takeoff, Fox Delta Whiskey.
All right, here we go. Thrust set.
Airspeed alive. 60 knots.
At 2:09 p.m.,
rotate.
The plane takes off.
Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Fox Delta Whiskey, climb to 4,500.
Climbing to 4,500 feet.
The captain rolls out the after takeoff checklist.
Flaps 1.
Cabin pressure on normal. Speed set.
But before he can finish, an alarm goes off.
There is a problem with engine 1.
Okay, you should take command. I'll take care of the checklist.
All right.
So, I turn off the alarm, and I open the engine shutdown checklist.
And while the pilots assess the problem, one of the passengers observes the consequence of the problem.
Captain, look, the engine.
The engine just shut down.
With engine 1 shut down, the aircraft's displays cut out. Pilots are therefore deprived of their altitude and speed. Seconds after takeoff, the pilots of Flight Fox Delta Whiskey have big problems.
Don't worry, I'll take us back to the airport. Declare an emergency.
Fox Delta Whiskey.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Engine failure. We need to come back immediately.
Fox Delta Whiskey, this is Golf Tower. Emergency well received. Turn heading 040.
Our instruments are dead. We need help.
I'm sending you a plane to help you with direction.
Okay.
Luckily, a Coast Guard plane is patrolling the area.
Charlie Uniform 991. A light passenger plane has an engine problem. Could you go help them?
We're gonna see that.
While waiting for the C-400, pilots still need help from the controller to avoid going far.
Fox Delta Whiskey, turn left.
Overspeed. Got it.
Pull up.
Delta Whiskey, turn right.
How much time is he going to take our support?
15 minutes after takeoff and 8 minutes after asking for help, the C-400 finally arrives.
We have the plane in visual, I repeat. We have the plane in visual. 991, over.
Oh, thank God.
Charlie Uniform 991, what's our speed?
Delta Whiskey, ground speed, 200 knots.
Roger.
Okay, time to get back to the airport.
Tower, Delta Whiskey, we are ready to come back.
Delta Whiskey, turn right heading 0.70 by following the C-400.
Roger.
You are at 11 nautical miles of runway 02. Approach VOR DME. Do you confirm?
Affirmative.
Okay, you're number 1. Descend to 1,500 feet.
Roger.
The plane is now approaching the airport and must slow down, but the C-400 will no longer be able to follow the PS-26.
Tower, this is Fox Delta Whiskey. 991 will not be able to follow us.
You will need to give us vectors for the runway.
Roger that, heading 025.
Thanks for help, 991, goodbye.
Goodbye and good luck.
The pilots are now on long approach.
Approach checklist. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed brakes on armed. Checklist completed. Gulf, Fox Delta Whiskey. We have visual on ground.
Fox Delta Whiskey, runway 02. Clear to land. Wind 140 degrees, 7 knots. Emergency services are in position.
Cleared to land, Fox Delta Whiskey. Thanks for your help.
Despite the absence of their instrument, the plane is now on short approach.
Plane ready, speed not verifiable, waiting to see the runway.
Roger.
Runway in sight.
Runway in sight, Delta Whiskey. Thank you for your help.
Everyone ready? So here we go.
We are tilted to the left.
I know, I try to correct it, but I can't.
Above runway.
Everyone, brace!
Brake!
I'm fully on the pedals.
We made it.
Evacuation checklist.
Tower, Delta Whiskey, we've landed.
Let's evacuate.
25 minutes after the failure of the instruments and Engine 1, the pilots of Flight Fox Alpha Romeo Delta Whiskey managed to land their aircraft without any casualties to report. What caused the various problems on board? A few hours after the plane stopped, civil aviation safety investigators arrived on site. They first begin questioning the pilots who claim to have lost Engine 1 and instruments shortly after takeoff. They therefore tested the plane, and more particularly, Engine 1. But there is no evidence that the engine has a problem. So, what caused the breakdown? investigators suspect two causes that could have caused Flight Fox Delta Whiskey incident: a maintenance error and a design flaw. Since the plane did not carry a flight recorder due to its size, they examined the wiring of Engine 1 and discovered that the cables determining the rotation of the propellers were worn. By testing them, it seems that the cables caused a short circuit, causing the engine to stop. But then, why did the instruments cut out? And why didn't maintenance notice the worn wiring? Turning to the design of the plane, investigators discovered that Engine 1 powered the instruments, so when the engine shut down, the instruments also shut down. But that deepens the mystery. When the captain was questioned, he claimed to receive alarms and that the controller could track their position on his radar, whereas this would be impossible without electricity. Turning their attention once again to the plane's design, investigators make a shocking discovery. They discovered that Engine 2, which was still functioning, continued to power the plane's systems without the pilots being able to see them. So Engine 1 controlled the system's display, not the systems themselves. The fact that the controller could access the position of the plane allowed the pilots to be able to land. But then, only one question remains: why didn't maintenance notice the worn cables? The maintenance logbook gives them the answer. During a wing inspection 8 months earlier, maintenance workers noticed worn cables on the right wing and therefore ordered new cables. The operation took so long, they forgot to inspect the left wing, and as soon as they finished installing the cables, the plane was so far behind schedule, the inspection of the other wing had to be cancelled. Since several flights had been planned, the organization responsible for the aircraft postponed the new inspection 10 months later, in November. The breakdown occurred 2 months before the inspection, which could have sealed the problem. It was therefore botched maintenance and a design flaw that almost cost the lives of 7 people.
There is a problem with Engine 1.
Captain, look, the engine!
But due to the composure of the crew,
don't worry, I'll take us back to the airport. Declare an emergency.
And the support given to them,
Fox Delta Whiskey, this is Golf Tower. Emergency well received. Charlie Uniform 991. A light passenger plane has an engine problem. Could you go help them?
We have the plane in visual. 991, over.
The plane was able to land without any casualties to report. After taking off from Main Airport, Northeast Airlines Flight 181 disappeared from radar and crashed into the ocean. The investigation will reveal that the accident was the result of an incident that occurred 3 years earlier.
We're cleared to land, Northeast 1529.
100.
Be careful, Captain. The speed is quite low.
30, 20, 10.
Did you feel that? Post-flight checklist, fuel supply cut off, seatbelts...
Okay, engine start and push back.
Northeast 181, taxi to runway 36 via Mike.
We're taxiing to runway 36 via Mike, Northeast 181.
June 6, 1995. Northeast Airlines Flight 181 begins taxiing at Main International Airport. The pilot in command is Captain Nicholas Halmer, a former Army pilot. At his side, First Officer Brian Feltz. He has a total of 6,300 flight hours. They are at the controls of an ATR-42, a turboprop plane very popular with regional airlines. They enable passenger transport in small airports, which cannot accommodate large aircraft. Today, 35 people are on board.
Before takeoff checklist, flaps 15 set, indicating 15.
Tower frequency set.
Landing lights on, checklist complete.
All right.
Tower, Northeast 181, ready for takeoff runway 36.
Northeast 181, cleared for takeoff runway 36, wind calm.
Cleared for takeoff.
181.
Okay, we can go.
Thrust set. $80 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Northeast 181. Contact departure on 122.25. Good day.
The plane leaves main airspace at 12:41 p.m. The flight to terminus should take 3 hours. 10 minutes after takeoff, the plane is at an altitude of 14,000 feet.
Maintain flight level and heading.
All right.
But a few seconds after the last radio transmission,
whoa!
The plane suffered a violent shock.
What's that?
Pull up, pull up.
I'm trying.
Come on. We're going down.
I know.
Northeast Airlines Flight 181 crashed 15 kilometers from Main Airport. Despite resources deployed to find survivors, none of the 35 people on board survived. How could the plane have crashed? Investigators from the Transportation Safety Board are responsible for answering the question. They first questioned the air traffic controller, who indicated that he had given them instructions to stay at 14,000 feet. This is confirmed by radar, but by observing the radar plot, the investigators make a discovery. The plane appears to split a few seconds before disappearing, which means the plane broke up in mid-flight. By analyzing the positioning of the debris and taking into account the wind that day, investigators concluded that it was the rear part of the plane that broke off first. Then, during the aircraft's spiral descent, the left wing would be detached. Finally, the right wing would also have detached before the impact in the ocean. Now that investigators know how the plane crashed, they must now answer the following question. Why did the rear part of the plane come off, causing the death of 35 people? Since it was a mid-flight dislocation, the investigators suspected maintenance, and by consulting the ATR-42 maintenance report, they discovered the plane had an incident 3 years earlier. On March 24, 1992, 3 years before the crash of Flight 181, Flight 1529 was on short final at Beach Airport.
We're cleared to land, Northeast 1529.
100.
Be careful, Captain. The speed is
50,
quite low.
40,
Except that the
30,
plane, upon
20,
landing,
10.
scrapes the runway.
Did you feel that?
We call this a tail strike. After the incident, the pilots noted in the maintenance log that an inspection will be necessary at the rear. By questioning the agents who carried out the maintenance, investigators make a shocking discovery. Noting that the friction crack did not appear serious, they simply added a protection plate without solving the problem and indicated on the maintenance report that the repair was carried out thoroughly and following the manufacturer's instructions. The crack went unnoticed for 3 years. Unfortunately, on June 6, 1995, the crack got so bad that the plane broke apart and crashed into the ocean.
What's that?
Pull up, pull up.
I'm trying.
Come on. We're going down.
I know.
After 3 years of investigations, investigators from the Transportation Safety Board recommend that the Civil Aviation Federation improve the training of maintenance agents and that aircraft inspections be carried out more often. Unfortunately, this did not prevent the occurrence of this type of accident. thanks to technological innovations, this type of accident should no longer happen again.